Hi, and welcome to Gunnercast ZA. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the new era of Unai Emery and what this man can bring to the Arsenal. We'll also be talking about the transfers he's made, the players he's brought in, and the pre-season performances and the mentality going into this new season. I also want to discuss the upcoming match with Manchester City this weekend and what we can expect from Arsenal this season. Welcome to every single one of you to the first episode of Gunnercast ZA. Now, before I get into this episode's content, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Richard, and I am a diehard Arsenal fan all the way from South Africa. Basically, why I wanted to start this podcast was it's sort of a side hobby for me at the moment, and I listen to the likes of Arsblog and Gunnerblog, and I watch the guys on Arsenal Fan TV, and I just think to myself, man, this must be the life. I mean, talking about Arsenal, ranting, commenting, doing everything Arsenal, man, it sounded great. It sounded like a really, really good idea to me. So I thought to myself, you know what, I want to do this, man. I want to sort of build a new community of South African Arsenal fans, because as far as I know, we don't really have any Arsenal bloggers or Arsenal podcasters here in South Africa. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to be the first one. And, well, if there are any out there that I haven't heard of so far, well, then I guess I'll be just another one. But, yeah. Anyways, I wanted to get straight back into the content. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. The new Premier League season, 2018 to 2019, 10 months of non-stop football, and I cannot wait. This is like Christmas in August, I tell you. Now, something different about this season is we've got a brand new manager. And I am excited and nervous at the same time because I don't know what to expect. Now, I was very, very shocked the day that Wenger came out with his announcement earlier this year that he was retiring. I thought to myself, this is surreal. This is wow. That hit me in the face, and I didn't even know that he was going to do this, because Wenger is the type of man who's so stubborn he will see out his contract. He signed a new 2-year contract after he won the FA Cup with us, and I thought to myself, okay, this is another 2 years of Wenger. And I was disappointed, firstly, because I wanted him to end his career at Arsenal on a high. I mean, that would have been the case if he had just stepped down after he won the FA Cup. But no, he decided to sign a new contract extension, and yeah. Secondly, I was also not very impressed because I thought to myself, this is going to be another season where we make a lot of mistakes. You know, same old Arsenal. Probably going to finish maybe top 4, maybe not even top 4 with the way we'd been playing. But that wasn't the case, as he announced he was retiring from Arsenal Football Club. And I was like, well, what the fuck now? What are we going to do? Who are we going to sign, you know? Who's going to be our new coach? And yes, it was a big surprise, but it was very, very bittersweet. Bitter in the fact that Wenger is all I know. I mean, I've started watching Arsenal since 2006 when we just moved into the Emirates Stadium, and yeah, Wenger is the only manager I know. I mean, he's been there for so long. For 22 years, he's been at Arsenal Football Club. I mean, that is over half of my life. And it's going to be so weird to see a new manager on the touchline. It's going to be really, really, really weird for me. So, yeah, that was the bitter part of it. I was also skeptical about if a new manager came in, Would they play a sort of boring type of football, like Chelsea? Or would they park the bus a lot, like Man United? I don't know. I didn't want this because the thing that Wenger brought to this club was Wenger ball, and that was attractive attacking football. So yeah, that was the bitter part of Wenger leaving for me, because I did not know who we were going to replace him with. The sweet part about it was that finally we were getting some change, because Wenger was so stuck in his ways and he was too stubborn to change his tactics up or try new things or go with different formations, or he was just, I don't know, he had this old mentality of how football should be. And with football evolving now, with the new managers coming in and them trying new tactics and everything, like he just couldn't keep up. I mean, we were sitting in the Premier League and we were already out of the top 4 race by the time he had made his announcement. We were out of the FA Cup already. We were out of the League Cup. We were going into a very, very difficult semi-final clash with Atletico Madrid in the Europa League. I don't know, it just wasn't looking very good for us, and I think I want to change. I mean, I love Wenger. He's done such a great job for us, but I really want to change in the club, and that's why this announcement was so sweet, was because we were finally getting that. I mean, like seasons of the Wenger out campaign had finally paid off, and we were finally going to see him go. But then the question was asked, or the question was raised, who next? Who is going to take over Wenger at Arsenal? Now, there were a couple of candidates that came up, and that was Tuchel from Borussia Dortmund at the time. There was Allegri from Juventus. And then a very, very unlikely candidate popped up, and that was Mikel Arteta, who was the ex-Arsenal captain and who was the understudy for Pep Guardiola, and is still currently at Manchester City. So I was thinking, okay, yeah, Tuchel would be a very, very good replacement for Wenger. I think he's quite good. I really wanted Mas Allegri to take over. That was my favorite choice, to take over from Wenger. But as time went on, it just seemed like those two options weren't going to make the cut, and that Mikel Arteta was going to be our new manager. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I mean, you can't take this guy who has no managerial experience whatsoever and put him in such a big club and expect him to lead them to trophies. And I was like, no, come on, this can't be real. But then a very, very, very strange thing happened. A new candidate popped up, and I'll be very, very honest, I'd never heard of this man before. Probably because I was so ignorant towards the other leagues. I mean, I was just focusing on Premier League most of the time. But this man goes by the name of Mr. Unai Emery. And he managed quite a few clubs in the La Liga a while back, but his most recent club that he managed was PSG. According to Ivan Gazidis, he was the candidate who came in and he was the most prepared. I mean, he was promising attacking football. He was promising possessive football, attractive football, and the board were very, very excited by his presentation and decided to give him the job. Now, this was very, very exciting stuff because I happened to listen to the press conference live when Unai Emery was unveiled and announced. And the things he said there were very promising. And with the likes of Unai Emery as our head coach now, we've got our head of recruitment from Borussia Dortmund in Sven Mislintat. We've got our head of football relations in Raul Sanllehi from Barcelona. This this looks like a very, very strong team and partnership. So I just couldn't wait for the new season to start. But we had to wait another 2 months before we could see Unai Emery at work. And what a job he's done so far. I mean, this man has brought in 5 new signings to the club. And very, very good signings, actually. Because last season we were in a place where we started to see weaknesses in our squad. And we really, really needed a new goalkeeper because Czech wasn't performing too well. Ospina had his days, but his consistency wasn't great either. We also needed the likes of a new defensive midfielder because we haven't replaced that role yet ever since Gilberto Silva left us. So, yeah, we needed a new defensive midfielder, and we also needed a new right back as a backup for Bellerin, because had Bellerin gotten injured in the season, we didn't really have a backup for him because, I mean, we sent, Mathieu Debuchy all the way back to France, and there was no experience in that right back role to fill Bellerin's boots had he been injured. So Emery brought in the likes of Stefan Lichtsteiner from Juventus on a free, which I think is a very, very good deal. I mean, he's experienced. He's won the league title with Juventus for 7 years in a row. And he looks like a very, very aggressive character with grit, you know. Then we brought in Bernd Leno from Bayer Leverkusen as a goalkeeper. And he looks like a very, very promising young talent. So I can't wait to see what he can do and if he can challenge Czech for the top spot. We brought in a new centre-back, which we desperately needed. Although it's not the centre-back we really wanted, but we got a new defender in Papa Socrates, or as his full name would be, Socrates Papastathopoulos. Wow, I actually said his name right for the first time. Then we got we got 2 new defensive midfielders in Lucas Torreira and a young kid by the name of Matteo Guendouzi. Now, Lucas Torreira, we didn't get to see much of him in pre-season, but I saw his performances for Uruguay in the World Cup, and wow, this guy looks like he can definitely fill that defensive midfielder role. I mean, yes, he's tiny, he's very, very small, but he's like a little pit bull. He's just so aggressive there in the center of the park, which is very, very good. And Matteo Guendouzi, now, I had no idea who this kid was before he came to Arsenal. But good Lord, he has impressed me so much during the preseason. I mean, this kid has got the ability to be a star. I can tell you now, he's going to be very, very big one day. The thing I love about him the most is the fact that he lies so deep within the midfield while the rest of the team are going forward. I don't know, it just provides that extra layer of defense in case the opposing team win the ball back and start a counter. So I'm also very impressed with his passing ability. And yeah, I've got to say, of all the new signings, he's impressed me the most. So yeah, I cannot wait to see him play for Arsenal this season. He's very young, probably very inexperienced, but he's definitely shown Emery why he should be in the starting lineup for most of the games this season. Now, our preseason form was actually pretty decent. I mean, I'm looking back at the results of we thrashed Bournemouth 8-0. We drew to Atletico Madrid 1-1, although we lost on penalties at the end. I'm not going to count that. I'm just going to count the 90 minutes itself. We beat PSG 5-1. We drew to Chelsea 1-1. And then we beat Lazio 2-0. I must say we've had a pretty decent pre-season, and I'm actually quite happy from what I've seen from the guys in the squad. One thing that does excite me a lot is the Aubameyang-Lacazette partnership. Unai Emery has played them together in a couple of matches, and it seems like he's going to go with that partnership for the season, because it seems to be that they forming this bond on and off the pitch, and it's I don't know, it's looking very, very promising, and I cannot wait for each of them to at least get into the double digits this season for goals. A lot of the youngsters have also been performing. Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, those guys have been doing very, very well. But one kid stood out in particular, and that was Emil Smith-Rowe. Now, a lot of people are very, very hyped up about this kid, and I don't blame them. I mean, his goal against Atletico Madrid was just insane, and you could see the way he plays. He's like he's a fresh, attacking young talent that can really, really contribute towards his team. But the thing that worries me is that I think people are maybe overhyping him too much. I, for one, was really excited about the prospect of Gideon Zelalem a couple of seasons ago. I mean, that kid was splitting defenses open with his passes, and he just looked like a really, really good talent. But ever since that pre-season, Wenger hadn't really given him a chance that season to break into the first team, and now I don't know. He hasn't featured for Arsenal since then, basically. So I'm just scared, and I'm skeptical that Smith-Rowe might end up in the sort of same situation. But I hope not. I really hope that Emery will sort of see his talent and use him in the future more and more, unlike Zelalem. But yeah, that was our preseason. I mean, our preseason was very, very good, in my opinion. It was very nice to see the Arsenal play after 2 months of not watching any Premier League football. But now we face a tough opening fixture against Manchester City on the weekend. This is, I don't know, it's probably one of the hardest starts we're going to get in a Premier League. And if I'm being honest, I'm not too optimistic, but the faith in me sort of says that no, we can pull this one off. I mean, I've been watching the videos on Arsenal's website of, all the behind scenes of the team and how they're training, and it looks like a really, really good atmosphere. The guys are laughing, the guys are joking, everyone is just generally happy in that camp at the moment, and Unai Emery looks like he's really, really working them hard, which is very, very good. So for that, I really hope that our team mentality and our team chemistry pulls together on Sunday against Manchester City. I'm not liking our chances because I think Manchester City have also been doing very, very well. They've got the likes of Kun Aguero, who always gives us problems. But yeah, I think if we really, really work hard, we can pull this one off. I was looking at a stat on Sky Sports' website of Unai Emery versus Pep Guardiola back in their La Liga days, and it doesn't look too good. I mean, out of the 10 matches they played against each other, Unai Emery drew 4 and lost the rest of them against Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. But they went on to say that Unai Emery's Valencia was the only team that sort of gave Pep Guardiola's side a real run for their money. So that makes me hopeful for Sunday's clash. I really hope that the Arsenal squad that he's got at the moment is better than the Valencia squad he had back then. And now that he has more to work with, he can finally get a win over Guardiola. So yeah, that's sort of my feeling for Sunday's match. I've got a predicted lineup here, and I think we might be playing a 4-2-3-1. I've got Cech in goal. I've got Bellerin as the right back, Papa Socrates and Mustafi as the centre backs. And I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles will probably play in that left back role because Sead Kolasinac is injured, and Monreal didn't really feature in pre-season this year. So he's going to take a while before he gets back into the starting lineup. In the center of the park, I've got Matteo Guendouzi and Xhaka. That's who I think are going to start against City. Then in front of them, the three in front of them would be Mkhitaryan on the right. We've got Ozil in the middle, and then Aubameyang on the left. And then leading the line up front would be Lacazette. Now, that is who I think Emery is going to start on Sunday. But if it were me, if I were the coach, I would probably start Lichtsteiner over Bellerin, mainly because Lichtsteiner's got that aggressive nature to him, and he really, really can give attackers a hard time. He's also not too slow, even though he's very old, but he's not too slow. He's still got a little bit of pace in him. And from what I've seen from the Lazio game, he's actually a very good chance creator. So I'm really hoping that he starts over Bellerin. The other part, or the other player who I think should start in the starting lineup is Lucas Torreira. I think he should start over Granit Xhaka. He should play alongside Guendouzi because I think Manchester City are going to be very, very attacking in this game. And we need two center defensive mids to sort of handle, De Bruyne and Aguero and stop those guys from counter-attacking when we lose the ball in their half. Other than that, I think our front three, or our front four, should I say it, Mkhitaryan, Ozil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette, I think they should stay there. I think they should start. And that is my predicted lineup for Sunday. I've got a sneaky feeling we're going to pull a win on Manchester City. I would say my predicted score would be 2-1 to the Arsenal. I just fucking hope I'm right. I really, really, really want this win over Manchester City. In terms of our this season, I think, I'm going to keep the faith in Emery, and I think he's going to pull off a top 4 finish for us. My predicted top 6 would be in first place Liverpool. In second place, narrowly missing out, would be Manchester City. I think Arsenal will probably finish in third place. And then it's a tough one between 4th and 5th because I think Manchester United and Chelsea are probably going to battle for that spot. And then hopefully someone like Everton will come in 6th. I just really, really hope that, Tottenham get nowhere near the top 6. I mean, it would be really, really nice to celebrate St. Tottenham's Day again this season. So yeah, that's my predicted top 6 for the season. In general, I think if we can keep our players fit, we should do pretty well. It's going to be tough because Emery has never managed the team in the Premier League before, and we do have to support him through thick and thin because let's just give him a season to get used to it, and if he does badly or if he finishes outside the top 4, then I won't be too mad. But like I said, I've got a sneaky feeling he's gonna get us into the top 4 this season. That brings me to the end of this episode. It's been quite fun, nerve-wracking at times, and by that I mean I've made a couple of mistakes during the recording of this episode. I'm really new to podcasting and blogging for that matter. So just give it time. I'm sure I'll get better in the future. If you like this podcast, you can subscribe to Gunnercast ZA on YouTube, as well as on SoundCloud. Same name, Gunnercast ZA. I'm also on Twitter, with the handle at Gunnercast _ZA. And my blog is on medium.com. But I will be sharing that blog on my Facebook page, which is also Gunnercast ZA. Hope you guys enjoy all the Premier League action this weekend, as well as the game on Sunday. Let's just hope that Arsenal can do bits and bring the 3 points home. Come on, you Gunners.